Good afternoon, this is Mrs. Dalmo here, and today we will be talking about the contemporary Japanese artist Yayoi Kasama. Contemporary is just another word for up-to-date or modern. She's been called the most important living artist of the East. What makes her art so interesting? Better yet, what makes this artist so interesting? When Yayoi was about 10 years old, she began her fascination with polka dots. She began imagining fields of polka dots when she closed her eyes. She noticed the smooth white stones in the riverbed by her house had the same polka dot pattern that she was obsessed with. This polka dot theme was prominent in her artwork all her life. Yayoi Kasama began her rise in the 1960s when she moved to New York City. She embraced the art of the era and began participating in artistic happenings, which basically were performances of poetry, music, and art for the enjoyment of the public. In the 1970s, the artist fell into very poor health. She began to see things that really weren't there. She moved back to Japan for a quieter life and checked herself into a mental health hospital where she still lives today at the age of 89. She lives there by choice and each day walks to her studio, and in the evening when she's done, she walks back to her hospital room that she has made her home for 41 years. The fact that she checks herself in and out of the hospital each day is just one interesting fact about this artist that people tend to remember. Also, of course, her dots. I was lucky enough to visit one of the artist's large-scale polka dot pumpkins when I visited Washington, D.C. last summer with my family. It could be seen in the courtyard at the Horseshoe Museum in Washington, D.C. Let's check out some more art by Yayoi Kasama. So these are a couple of examples of the project that we'll be making today. Let's get started. Let's practice drawing some pumpkins. First of all, in the center, I'm going to draw an oval shape that looks like that. And then on each side, I'm going to draw another segment of my pumpkin. So on this side, I'm going to join it and then come down around and join it to the bottom. If you get any wiggly, weird spots, don't worry about it because pumpkins are often wiggly and weird. On this side, the same thing, and attach it to the bottom. Start at the top and around and attach it to the bottom until we fill up our paper. There we go. It's all filled. I could make a stem at the top like that, and that's one way I can make a pumpkin. Another way you can make one is even longer. So, well, I did have my paper straight up and down. Just, oops, an oval shape in the middle. And now this one's going to be really weird at the bottom, but pumpkins are all kinds of shapes, so that's okay. Start at the top, bring it around to the bottom. Bring it around to the bottom. So you can see it's a little bit, this line's crooked. I don't care because it's a pumpkin. It should look different than everybody's in the room. And then the top, another stem. So go ahead and practice a couple of different ways to make a pumpkin. So the artist that we're talking about today created this pumpkin art in 1994, and it recently sold at an auction for $169,000. That's as much as it would take to buy a small house. So you can see that's a great example of the incredible value that art can have. This work of art was created by the artist in 1994. It sold recently at an auction for $169,000. That's a great example of the incredible value art can have. The pumpkin shape itself is organic. It's not square, triangular, or anything that has a name. It's just sort of a blob. And the background is geometric. The shape that she used was a little triangle, and it's very angular shape, so we'll show you that on the demonstration here. I'm gonna go ahead and start drawing my pumpkin. I decided that I think it was this one. I like the strange shape of it, so I'm gonna go with that one. And I'm gonna put my paper this way since that's the way I decided I would have my pumpkin. I'm gonna start with and I'm gonna use up as much of my paper as I can. And in the center of it, I'm gonna draw my oblong shape all the way down to the bottom. Looks like a big hot dog or a piece of corn. And then start at the top and draw another segment of my pumpkin. And I'm gonna keep going until I reach the bottom and attach it. It's a little wiggly, but I do not care. Start at the top again. Go down and right to the edge of my page. On the other side, same thing, attach it at the top, bring it down, attach it at the bottom. Start at the top, bring it around, attach it at the bottom. It doesn't look quite like my thumbnail sketch, but I'm not gonna worry too much about that. All pumpkins are different. And around, I got fit one more on there and attach it to the bottom. And I'm gonna just add a little bit of a stem at the top. Okay, and I think I'm done with this. I'm gonna add some circles right down the front of my pumpkin, just like the artist. Then I could fit a little one up here, and then maybe some smaller ones along the edge. Some more on this side. I'd like you guys to put a large row in the center and then fill in the sides with circles. Just have a row of them going down and not just put them everywhere. Just let's keep a nice organized pattern. So I'm speeding this up. I'm gonna draw some circles straight down, following the curve of my pumpkin. I'm gonna make them quite large. I'm going to continue on each segment of my pumpkin. I started out putting those little ones on there, and I think I'm just going to go ahead and each segment draw a straight or curved, shall I say, curved row of circles all the way down the pumpkin. And then I could go back and fill in the smaller circles. I think that's a good idea. And remember, we're going to color these in, so if they're not perfectly round, you could work on them a little bit. And then I'm starting smaller at the top and following that curve all the way down. Again, I sped this up and I'm filling in some small circles all along the edge of each side of the segment. Just small ones to fill in that space. You don't want just one strip of circles, you want to fill them in. So keep on going. Do I see any more space where I could put some? Right there, probably fit some more. We don't want a lot of orange space. The polka dots look pretty cool. Okay, right here I'm just finishing up the dots between, filling in some more orange space. Pretty good. And I'm gonna color them in. Color all of them in. So it's gonna take a little bit.
1